Hi, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Jelena.
Welcome to our tutorial. Well, it's kind of like a tutorial and a little bit of a class today. To get the full benefit, we want you to kind of do it along with us.
We're going to be talking about what to do as you prep to do some hand balancing. So, what are the initial techniques, and what is it that the body is supposed to be doing as we transfer the weight?
Yeah, like shoulder and arm setup, shifting weight techniques for that. And when do we put weight into the hands? If you're doing Ashtanga, ideally we're learning how to jump forward and back in the sun salutations and then in the vinyasas as well. So, there's slightly different techniques according to the vinyasa that you're doing, but there's also some principles that are kind of always present. So we'll try to get to the essentials with this.
Essentials.
Yeah. Maybe we can call it arm balancing essentials.
Okay.
Okay, but before we tell you these essential techniques, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment.
Okay.
All right, so let's go over hand position first. This is true for every arm balance you're going to do, okay? You're going to put your hands on the floor, shoulder width apart. Yeah, do it this way, I think. This is good. So shoulder width, think about it.
We can do it this way too.
Who's to say what your shoulder width is in terms of what are you measuring by? Where are you measuring from in your shoulders? Are you measuring from the outside of your shoulders, from the insides of the shoulders, the inside of the hand, the outside of the hand? We're going to tell you that you should put the inside of your hand around the outside of your shoulder. So can you see it's like a little wider than if Jelena's arms were straight under her shoulders. And part of this is, when we're doing like jump backs and jump throughs, we're trying to get the legs between the arms, so it makes it a little easier that way. But also the width, as long as it's not too wide, it seems to feel more stable.
Yeah, it lets you kind of access the strength that's in your shoulders a little bit more than if the hands are here. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's the truth.
All right, and then make sure the creases of your wrists are parallel to the front line of your mat, or parallel to the front of your shoulders. And you want to try to get your knuckles, the knuckles of your hands, on the floor. Don't worry so much about the knuckles of your fingers, but press your fingertips into the floor, tips of your thumbs, and then notice that it's hard to get that index knuckle down on the floor, so spin your forearms slightly in, pronate inwards like that, so the inner elbow joint starts to turn in. Now don't overdo it, because then you'll collapse your shoulders too much towards your ears. Spin the arms in until you can feel the index knuckle press into the floor. Press through the index knuckle, maintain that slight inward rotation, and then push your shoulder back. So back, away from your ear, and then try to puff your upper back, puff your rhomboids, puff between the shoulder blades. Okay? So this is kind of our base that we're going to keep trying to go back to. And then when we're going to jump up, we're going to try to hold all of that work and connect for a moment, connect the legs to the strength of the shoulders and the core. So we're going to maintain posterior tilt and try to hold the thighs close to the stomach. Can you see if Jelena goes to an anterior tilt, it's going to take her out of the strength in the upper back, and it pulls her torso and her thighs apart. So we want a posterior tilt so that the ribs and the thighs start to come together, and then hands press into the floor to find that round upper back. And we can even deepen the posterior tilt and the connection here by bending the knees slightly. Straight legs doesn't matter. So now, take this position. You're like in this very shallow squat with the thighs close to the stomach, knees close to the chest. Spin your arms in, push your shoulders back, try to round your back, and then just tip your weight forward onto your toes so your heels start to lift. Good. And then shift your weight back, Try it again. Really push through the index knuckles of the hands. Shift your weight forward. Pull your tailbone down. Pull your belly in. Keep your chin a little bit lifted. And then come back. Good. So now we could try just doing a couple of little hops. So you're going to do all that work again. Bend the knees, round the back, press through the hands, straighten the arms. Good. And then shift the weight a little forward. So see, Jelena's shoulders are coming forward of her wrists to counterbalance the feet. And then she could just do a little hop. And she's resisting as the feet come down. So she does a little hop, push. You see, so she's not just doing this, right? She's not just jumping. She's jumping into the resistance of the arms, and then she keeps resisting, pushing through the floor. Eventually, if you can get enough height and enough resistance, then you're going to be able to keep the feet up off the floor. Okay? Now, if you wanted to get into a better position, because that's a lot of work.
Yeah. How are you sweating?
It's a lot of work just holding the feet a little bit off the floor. The more you stack your hips over your shoulders, the more you can rely on your balance, your alignment, and less on your strength. There's still strength, and you're still connecting everything together, but then you can start to bring more balance into it, and it takes away from the pushing that you need to do, right?
Yeah. I'm always pushing. I don't know that it takes away.
You have to push because you have to keep your head off the floor.
Yes.
So you're always pushing. But when you're lifting, there's more force. When you're up and you're holding the line.
Right. If you're brave enough to kind of hop into that place where your hips are in line with your shoulders, that's in line with the wrist, and so you feel.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Balanced.
That's what I said. Yeah. So, want to try it?
I guess I have to because it's a tutorial.
Okay.
Notice that the hands are not here. They don't need to be here. This is really, really difficult. This is one day when you can just press up without any problem, then the hands can maybe come there. But for now, you can even have them a little bit more in front. Just make sure they're not too far forward because then that requires too much transfer of the weight. Having somewhere the heel of your palm in line with your toes, that's great. Or bringing it a little bit more forward is maybe even easier as you begin to practice this. So from here?
Yeah, so she's going to do all the same work again, knees close to the body, round the back, press through the arms, and then do a hop. Maybe it'll take a couple hops. Eventually, you're going to hop enough that you can get your hips over your shoulders. Ooh. Now,
It's a lot of work.
because Jelena's legs are still straight-ish, and they're angled back, then she's working hard to keep the feet up off the floor. Now, if you bring the feet higher, then you're going to counterbalance more with the hips coming further back, and it'll become a little bit less work. So you could do that with your knees bent, or you could eventually do it into a straight-legged handstand. But you're basically just going to hop and look for that moment of lightness when the hips are over. Yep, you can bend the knees there if you want. Yep, there.
I got too confident there.
Yeah, that's going to happen. You'll lose your balance.
Many times.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get this without doing that a bunch of times. And that's almost always the worst thing that'll happen. You'll just kind of, catch yourself and, just make sure that there's nothing around you that you're going to kick, or fall onto or anything like that when you're doing it, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, fine.
Don't do it at the edge of a cliff or at the top of the stairs,
Honestly, this happens all the time. Even once you've kind of think you've mastered something, it's especially then that it happens because you start to relax a little bit and you start to let go of that mindfulness and control. So it's always going to be there for you. But later on, like to me, it's funny and I giggle because I know I can't hurt myself. But at first, that's really scary when it happens. And your body's just gonna do whatever it needs to protect you. So you're not gonna fall on your face. Maybe we've seen it once or twice.
Yeah, no. Usually it's other
Someone just
people around you that take the brunt.
yeah, because your legs can do funny stuff.
So this is that kind of balance point. So can we see, why is this essential? If you were doing something like jumping from downward dog, jumping through, right? And it gets nice and controlled and light. Watch this. So Jelena is going to, from here, look here, this position, thighs against the stomach, tuck the tailbone. She's pushing into the hands. And then when she jumps, she's going to jump forward into that balanced position. Up, there. And then, swing the legs through or whatever. Super cool, right?
It's just easier when you're coming, look, I'm sweating. When you're coming from downward dog because you use the strength of your legs to jump.
More, yeah.
Versus when you're coming from this trini position or the full forward position, it requires a lot more strength in your upper body.
And it's scarier, right? Because your weight's shifted more forward.
More forward, yeah.
And then if you were, I don't know, doing something crazy like handstands or something like that.
Okay, we're going there.
You would, one of the things that is going to really help you stay stable here is keeping your legs squeezed together as well. You'll access your core that way, and you'll take out the randomness of the legs. So just make sure whenever you're doing any of this hopping that you're not kind of like kicking or flailing your legs around, We see this a lot where people kind of shoot the legs up too fast, something like that. It gets really random. So you're going to, even if you don't extend the legs all the way up, you're going to squeeze your knees together, your legs in towards each other. Even if they come apart, it's still that sensation of squeezing. That'll keep you centered in your kind of axis. So watch. So we'll do that same thing again. Inhale, you jump up. Try to find your balance point, and then squeezing the legs. Maybe from here, eventually, you could stretch your legs all the way up. Good. You can see now that she's balanced, it's very stable, right?
Okay, I'm getting too cocky.
All right.
Didn't think we would go there.
Yeah, it's all the same thing. Once you got the balance over the arms, and the arms are pressing into the floor, then, it just depends on how fancy you are.
Yeah, and it's like, I think part of handstands and balancing is there's the technique and the tips that are given to you, but you also have to be really playful. Like you have to let yourself relax a little bit, be ready for all of these things, like a little bit, losing a little bit of control as you're doing it. It's part of learning the whole thing. So yeah, try to have fun with it.
Yeah, just be careful. Okay, thanks for joining. Make sure to subscribe, tell us what you thought, tell us what you want to see, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao.